All right, thanks everybody for checking out this video here. I'm going to be giving my fight picks for UFC 225. I'm going to do the entire card from the prelims all the way to the main card. The FightPass prelims all the way to the main card because 225 is just stacked. It really is a great. Chicago is getting one of the best UFC cards of the year. They really are. If I were in Chicago right now, I would be going to this show and I would get there on time. Like for the first, maybe not the first fight, but I'd be getting there on time. So I'm going to go ahead. This video is just going to be my fight picks for the Fight Pass prelims and basically just how I'm getting to, the reasons why I'm choosing, the fighter that I think is going to win. So let's start with the first fight. It's a featherweight fight. This is the newbies on the block, Mike Santiago and Dan Ige. This actually should be a good fight. I like seeing the newbies come in and kind of see where their footing is, how they get their footing. Mike Santiago started off with, he's 0-2 in the UFC. So this, if he loses here, would make him 0-3. And I'm not sure how long he would stay. UFC doesn't really waste much time. And then featherweight division is such a, they've got bodies over there. So they don't need any extra, anybody on a serious losing streak. And then Dan Ige, he only lost his last fight. Who did he lose to? He lost his last fight. Oh, to Arce. He lost to Julio Arce, the boxer. So Dan Ige is a wrestler, and he did have trouble with that with Arce, who kind of comes out with the boxing style. He's got great hands. But I think that Dan Ige is going to beat Mike Santiago. I think he's going to beat him. I think that he's either going to get some sort of submission or he is going to, I think he's going to get a rear naked choke, or if it goes to decision, he's going to get the decision because he'll probably have his wrestling is so strong that he would have all of the great positions, all of the advantageous positions in the clinch, and he will probably have a lot of advantageous positions on the ground. And Dan Ige plays that game that Damian Maia likes to play, where he kind of pretends, he's throwing shots. Like when they're on the feet, he's literally just throwing punches and kicks in order to facilitate a takedown. Like, it's his version of it's their version of feinting. But I like Dan Ige right now. I actually like him for the win. I think he's going to go ahead and take that one. Hate to see Mike take the L, but can't quite. I just don't see how he would win this one. He's lost some tough fights. He lost against Mads Burrell, and then he also lost against Magomed Sharapov. So it'll be a long way back, kind of crawling back for the guy, but I can't see him winning this fight here. Okay, anyways, next it is a lightweight fight. Clay Guida, Charles Oliveira. This is one of those fights that it's so tough to care about it because, one, I like fights that are going somewhere, like the fighter is trying to get to winning the belt, or I like a good storyline, and there's really no storyline here. I do think that Charles Oliveira is going to lose. He really has never beaten a good fighter, like a fighter that is so seasoned or really good. He's kind of middle of the road at the moment, and I think that's partly because of his not his drive necessarily, but his discipline. That's the word. His discipline is off. He's missed weight so many times, and he's had some strange things to kind of say about missing weight, but I don't know. He made weight this time, and this was a short notice fight for him. So it seems like maybe he's trying to get back on the good foot, get back on in the win column. His last loss was to Felder, and I can see Greater losing to Felder. So that's nothing to hang your head on, but Clay Guida, he always comes out with that spirit, man. I just can't count on him to lose this type of fight. He's also in his hometown. So maybe it's not a skill thing. Maybe it's more of, I just want to see him take the win in his hometown. He comes out with so much energy. He's one of those MMA fighters. Like when I say channel MMA, he's one of those MMA guys that I'm thinking that I named the channel after. Like people who don't give up. And this card is full of those channel MMA types, for real. I mean, people who don't give up when the fight gets hard, they keep at it, and they're still out there, with footwork, throwing hands, going for takedowns. So it should be a pretty good fight. I don't want him to go to the ground with Charles, because Charles does have those slick submissions. But anyways, I got Guida for the win. Flyweight, very easy. Benavidez for the win. Too good. I mean, he is too good. He applies maximum pressure, maximum skill. I mean, with that, it's hard to beat that type of fighter. I believe that Sergio Pettis puts on maximum skill, but not maximum pressure. He doesn't have that killer instinct. Sergio Pettis doesn't really have that killer instinct yet. He's 24 years old, so I get it. But Joseph Benavidez comes out there with just bad intentions. He really does. Who Joseph Benavidez reminds me of, or who should train with Joseph Benavidez, is that young guy who lost to Sergio Pettis. Oh gosh, what's his name? He's in the flyweight. He's a Mexican guy. He's new. He was on that Tough show. Dang, I can't put a name to him. He just lost to... Dang, I cannot remember that guy's name. Anyways, he should train. I'm sure people who watch the video, you guys know who I'm talking about. He needs to train with Joseph Benavidez, because that kid has the killer instinct. He's not afraid to throw hands, but he's not strategic, and he doesn't have very much technique. His technique is pretty off. But if he was able to sharpen up those skills, he'd be tough, because in that flyweight division, you have to be able to put on pressure, because they're all moving, they're 100 pounds and they're moving, 60 miles a minute. So you got to have a little bit more than just technique. And Sergio's got the technique. He's got technique and power and those things, but he just doesn't have that pressure, that type of pressure that you need for that flyweight division. Anyway, so I have Benavidez for the win. And then light heavyweight Rashad Evans versus Anthony Smith. I've never rooted against Rashad Evans. It's kind of tough. I've never rooted against him, but he's on such a skid. And Anthony Smith really is a patient fighter. I like watching Anthony Smith fight, though. It was, he ran into a brick wall in his last fight with Thiago Alves. But was that? Yeah, am I saying that right? Thiago Alves. Yeah, with Thiago Alves. But typically he's very patient, but that patience might get him in trouble if Rashad Evans decides to pull the trigger on him, actually apply a little bit of pressure, actually go for the win, and actually throw hands in this fight. If he just lets his hands go, then he will win this fight. But if he is worried about getting hit, getting touched up a little bit, if he's still kind of in that headspace where, I don't know, I'm not sure, just in his head, not throwing hands, in his head, not throwing enough, then Rashad Evans is going to be in trouble. But what I'll say is, I got to pick Rashad Evans for the win. He's going back up to 205, which is his weight class. I just looked it up. It wasn't Alves. I'm thinking about the wrong Thiago. It's Thiago Santos he ran into. Was it Thiago Santos? Am I still seeing that right? Thiago Santos. I feel like that was Thiago Santos. Wow, that was February. Time flies. Wow, time flies. But yeah, I think if Rashad Evans can let them damn hands go, let the hands go and get out of your head. Get out of your head, let them damn hands go. And I think he can take a win. And he needs a win right now. I think he's going to take this win. They put him on the UFC FightPass prelims. I'm not sure if he would retire on FightPass. It's kind of a strange way to retire. But he's obviously coming to the end of his career, so maybe a few fights left. But it would definitely be a weird way to retire on the Fight Pass. Anyways, Fight Pass card looks good. I'll be watching it. I'll definitely be watching it. I know a lot of people were upset about, or not a lot of people, but Joseph Benavidez was definitely upset about being put on the prelims. But you have to understand, I mean, UFC is making moves that the fighters clearly don't know about because they don't really organize like other sports do. So I do know that the Contender Series is coming back on. They want those numbers to be up. They need to get people watching Fight Pass, and this is a great way to do it. I mean, these are marquee fighters. I mean, Rashad Evans, Benavidez, Clay Guida. You know, Clay Guida isn't one of my favorites, but he is a marquee fighter. You could have put him, you know, as a co-main event. He could have been the co-main event of the prelims, the regular prelims. And then they have Sergio Pettis on there, the new guy on the come up. It's a really, really good Fight Pass card. And actually, this will be the first Fight Pass card that I ever watched, that I ever wanted to watch, right? So I watched some because I had nothing else to do and I was bored. Just waiting on the other fights to come on, and then you end up seeing you'll end up seeing some really good fights actually on Fight Pass, on the Fight Pass prelims. But I've never wanted to watch the Fight Pass prelims, so this is a good move, I think, for the UFC. Stack these cards from the top all the way to the bottom, because it does get a little bit boring. You're waiting around until 11 o'clock to finally see a really good fight that you're really, you know what I mean, that you're interested in and that your heart is into. The rest of these, some fights you're just like, I don't know this guy, but I guess I'll give it a look, and you might see a good fight, but you want to see something that you want to see. You want to see something that you want to see. But okay, so those are my fight picks for the UFC Fight Pass prelims. It's basically Dan Ige, Clay Guida, Joseph Benavidez, Rashad Evans. I'm going to be putting out another two videos, one for the prelims on Fox Sports and the other one for the main card, which will give my fight picks for the entire UFC 225. Thanks everybody. Thanks again for watching the video. This is Channel MMA. If you like it, thumbs up and go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment in the comment section. If you guys have any questions, comments, we could just chat MMA for a little while. Yeah, thanks.